These are very small communities, very small areas, but hey, people still live there. If you live in this part of town, if you live in this part of the county, I would just make sure that you're in a safe spot right now. Interior room, get away from the windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, whether that's a bathroom, even an interior hallway. That's going to be your best bet to keep you safe from this storm. It's a dangerous storm, even if there's not a tornado on the ground right now. So gusty winds, some small hail a possibility with this, and a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rain. So again, if you're just joining us, we're looking at shear rate here. This basically gives us an idea of what's happening. I had it so zoomed out, which made that look really small because there's not a lot of detail when you get this close to the map, just because there's not a ton of stuff out here. But we're just to the, I'll step over here, we're just to the west of Moss Hill. So here's Moss Hill, here's Highway 105, there's your shear, and this is moving towards the north and the east at about 25 miles per hour. So again, we'll draw this out for you here. This is the direction that this is moving in. So here's your circulation, and this is pushing through Liberty County. So again, this is what we're watching for you right now. It's on the weaker side in terms of, tornado strength that we've seen here. This is some of the weaker shear, but still enough. It's still tight enough that it could tighten up even more, drop down to the ground, and strengthen within just one radar scan. And so because this storm has kind of all of the hallmarks of being a tornado-producing storm, that's why we had that warning that's in effect. On the wider shot, again, I just want to keep checking in with our areas to the west. We're still watching this line of storms, and we're still expecting it to arrive in the city of Houston by 6:45. So we still have yet to get into the worst of the weather this evening for Harris County. Just keep that in mind. So we're tracking a tornado warning that's out ahead of the main line of storms here in Liberty County between the city of Liberty and Cleveland, moving towards the north and east. But we have all of this to still get through, and that's why we still have that tornado watch that's in effect right now until 6 p.m. We'll see if they let it expire at 6 or if they continue it as that line starts to move, and they may replace it with a severe thunderstorm watch. Either way, though, these storms mean business. These storms are going to produce some gusty winds, maybe some hail, and some very heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning as well between now and, let's say, 8 to 9 o'clock this evening. Re-racking again, 521, 522 now actually. We've got this tornado warning here that's in the Cleveland area, or just to the south, east of Cleveland. And this is in effect for another 8 minutes. So switch over to velocity again. We'll give you an idea of what's going on. And let's go over, actually, we'll go over to our debris detector. Okay, so our debris detector, I know that is kind of a bright looking screen here. Basically, what this is showing us is wherever you see that white color, there's no debris. So it's just rain, maybe some hail. When you start to get into some of these bluer colors, that's where we start to see the potential for debris being picked up by radar. And as we back this up, it doesn't really look like we saw anything. Maybe there was a little bit of a drop here. That was at 5 o'clock, about when that warning got issued. So there may have been some debris early on. I don't see anything now, though. And again, our circulation is right in this area, and there's nothing showing up there. So that's good news. We're not seeing any trees that are being picked up by this storm. We're not seeing any home debris that's getting lofted. But I got to tell you, I'm looking at this on a different radar service on my phone, and it's an impressive looking cell. So take this seriously. It's almost out of Liberty County. We've got another 8 minutes left on this warning, another 7 minutes now. And this is going to keep moving to the east, eventually into East Texas, and then ultimately into Louisiana if it holds together. We'll get you back to radar, and there it is. So you can see the movement here away from the city, right? So city of Houston's down here. This is the East Tex Freeway. This storm actually came out of Harris County and is now in Liberty County, and eventually it's going to be moving out of here. Let's backtrack a little bit. I just want to talk about this also, severe thunderstorm warning. This is for the Columbus area. Columbus, you're just about to get in on this, and this is going to be a hail producer for you as it moves along Highway 90 and I-10 there. So this is moving to the east. That's the only severe storm that we've got on the map right now. The other game in town, of course, is this tornado-warned storm in Liberty County. That's pretty much what we've got right now. So nothing super impressive in terms of debris. There's your signature though. There's your red and green coming together, right? So the red is wind moving in that direction. The green is wind moving in that direction. So this is about to cross over Highway 146 now. I think it'll be just between, so Moss Hill is right here, and then Clark is up here. These are two very small communities. And I think this circulation is going to kind of thread the needle in between Moss Hill and Clark. Things are probably getting really loud for you though along this highway as the storm approaches. That's your sign that things are about to get a bit dangerous. So that's your sign to move inside. Again, interior room, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Make sure that you are protecting yourself from any flying debris if a tornado were to develop. And these radar scans, I got to tell you, the radar has to go in a giant circle to scan the sky. But it's not just at one level. It does one circle of a scan, then it points up, does another one, points up, does another one. That whole process takes several minutes. So we get a snapshot of what the radar looks like now, and then 4 to 5 minutes later, you'll watch the image jump. So there's about 4 or 5 minutes of that we're not seeing with the radar image. And so even though something may not look impressive in that snapshot, things happen very quickly. If you've ever been through a tornado before, you know how fast they form. And so this storm is in a healthy environment for tornado development. It is all alone with no other storms to feed off that energy. And so this storm is going to do everything that it can to produce a tornado. And so that's why you have to take these so seriously. So again, very sparsely populated area here, which is great news. We're getting into eastern Liberty County along Highway 146. If you live there, you got to be in your safe spot now. This storm will probably be right on top of 146 within the next minute or so. Looks like we just lost that radar shot, so we'll go over to reflectivity, which is just showing us the rain. And let me see if I can clean this up for us a little bit. I know there's so much stuff going on with this image right now. If we just go to one radar site, and you get a sense of that hook in there. And I'll draw it out for you. Let's see. We'll change the color here. Bear with me, everybody. It's the live TV. So there's your hook. Okay. So I know there's a lot here with the yellow and the green, but that red, that indicates where that hook is. So again, it's right about in there that we're going to see our area of rotation, our potential tornadoes. So again, in between Moss Hill, in between Clark, going to cross over 146. We'll get our new radar scan here within the next minute or two. By then, you'll probably see this jump probably right over the highway. Again, moving to the east at about 25 miles per hour. And as of what I heard about 10 minutes ago, there have been no reports, no sightings of a tornado yet. Wouldn't be shocked to see a funnel cloud, though, spotted with this. If there's anyone in the area, again, it's a pretty sparsely populated part of Liberty County and of southeast Texas, so there may not be someone to actually see this. But that's the best case scenario. You don't want these dangerous storms to happen in highly populated areas where they can do a lot of damage, right? We don't want them to happen anywhere. But if they are going to happen, it's best they happen in national parks or areas that aren't inhabited. And that's more or less the case with this here. There was a park up in the storm's path earlier. Now we're starting to get into the eastern part of the county, really densely populated with trees. And so it's going to be very hard if you do live up here to see this thing coming, which is why we tell you all the time, don't go outside during these storms, get inside, get into a spot of hiding. If you live anywhere down towards the south and west, so we'll call out a few communities here. If you live in Dalton Lakes, you're in the clear. Moss Hill, so there's your hook. I mean, you can really see that hook now, right? So there's there's where that area of rotation is going to be with this storm. I bet they continue this warning. Once they do, though, it will be out of our area. We'll stay with this storm, though, until it gets out of Liberty County, which should be the next 10 minutes or so. Just based on how slow it's moving. But I bet they continue this warning just based on how healthy this storm is looking right now. There's a lot of lightning. It has that kidney bean hooked shape to it. So this is all the classic hallmarks of a supercell thunderstorm. We'll widen this out a little bit. I want to get you back to the velocity if that data came back to us just to see what it looks like. And again, we're so far from the radar site, it's just so hard to tell. Just to give you, a frame of reference, and again, I'm doing this live with you on the air as we speak. So this storm is 62 miles away from the radar. 62 miles away from the radar, which means that radar beam is looking up about 5,000 feet in the air. So we're not getting an idea of what's happening at the surface. But it looks like this is a brand new update now, that we have a yellow box over that red box, which means that the Weather Service is going to let that red box, the tornado warning, expire, and then they're going to replace it with a severe thunderstorm warning. And that's great news. It means that the couplet for rotation, that signature that we were seeing the potential for tornado, has diminished, and it looks like we are going to transition more, there you go, to a severe thunderstorm warning. So, producer James, let me know what you want to do. I think we can wrap this up. Now. Okay, we're going to get you to the CBS Evening News right now, and we're going to continue weather coverage on KHOU 11+. We'll go to Evening News right now, and we'll see you on digital. All right, hi everybody. We are on KHOU 11+. We are just continuing coverage here, and if the director could get programming out of my ear, I'd appreciate that. We can also drop this banner. We don't have a tornado warning in effect anymore. The tornado threat for Liberty County has ended. So let's widen things out, and we'll refresh here with what's going on across the area. We are watching a severe thunderstorm warning though in the Columbus area. This is a really feisty storm. This is coming into our western areas, and this is going to be, I got to tell you, if this holds together, this is going to be the big storm. Look at this warning here. We've got observed 1.75 inch diameter hail. That is something that will cause considerable damage. So the National Weather Service has different levels to warnings. And we don't talk about this a lot because it just gets a little confusing. It's a lot to explain on TV. But we're on KHOU 11+. We have time to explain this. We've got your base run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorm warning, which is for 60-mile-an-hour winds, 1-inch diameter hail. It's a storm that is severe, but it's not going to do a tremendous amount of damage. Once you get into really large hail, so we're talking 1 3/4, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, they start to add these tags to the warnings. So you do considerable, catastrophic, stuff like that. So we've got a considerable tag on this because that hail threat is so significant. And this isn't radar indicated, this is actually observed destructive hail that we're seeing with this. So Columbus, heads up. You got to make sure that you are inside because that is hail that could hurt you. These hailstones are falling through the sky at 50, 60 miles per hour. If you get hit in the head with one of these, it's going to hurt a lot. And it could cause some injuries. If you can, get your car into a safe spot. Again, this is for Columbus. If our digital team is listening, I think we should be including this in our push alerts for the warnings because that is something that we don't see every day, these considerable tags on these severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's what's going on there. On the wider shot, we don't have any other severe warnings at the moment, but you can see this line extends all the way beyond Montgomery up to the Huntsville area. The storms up here, though, are showing signs that they're weakening a little bit. The strongest storms are definitely on the southern end of this. And again, as we time this out, I would expect this in the Cleveland area around 5:48. I'm going to move this so it's a little more up to date now. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so the times haven't changed much. So Conroe 5:42, Eagle Lake around 6 p.m., Cleveland 6:11, Springs 6:35, Rosenberg 6:48, City of Houston 7:11. I would say it's around 7 p.m. Before it was showing 6:45, now it's showing 7:11. I'd say about 7 p.m. for the City of Houston. Liberty 7:30, and then League City by 8 p.m. if this holds together. The one warning, though, that we're watching is this one out here in the Columbus area that has the potential for producing that really large hail. So we still also have that tornado watch. This goes until 6 p.m. This is for every county except for Matagorda, Brazoria, Galveston, Chambers. So all the counties pretty much away from the water are under this tornado watch until 6 p.m. Let's time it out. Future Track has been doing a really good job this evening with these storms. So there goes that tornado warned storm that had the tornado warning before in Liberty County. That batch of rain goes north and east. Then we get this line that's developing, and we're watching that one storm out in Columbus right now. That gets to Houston, again, ballpark 7 o'clock. So within the next hour and a half, areas that need to start paying attention: Katy, Sugar Land, Tomball, Richmond, Needville, out towards El Campo, and then eventually anyone else that's actually in Harris County, because that's when the worst of the weather gets here. Beyond that, I do think that line will weaken substantially as we get down towards the coast. And the reason for that is because that line of storms will start to interact with a much more stable atmosphere. Remember, that's why those areas aren't included in the tornado watch. There's a lid on the potential for storms that become severe. We definitely could see showers and storms through about 11 o'clock midnight, but eventually everything dies out. And we'll actually catch a nice break here as we get into the overnight before we do it again for tomorrow. So the weather impact alert remains in effect, I would say, through probably 11 p.m. We may be able to trim that back to 10 p.m. But rain chances are about to ramp up in Harris County. So just keep that in mind. Areas in the Houston metro that have been very quiet so far this afternoon, things are going to ramp up here in the next few hours. Next 3 days look like this. We don't have a weather impact alert in effect for Wednesday, but it is a day that we've highlighted as just a day to watch. And then maybe it's an isolated storm chance for Thursday with much nicer weather coming in by Friday and as we get into the weekend as well. Let's talk long term. Let's talk about Future Track for tomorrow. We could start off tomorrow morning with a couple of showers, not out of the question. As we play this through, I think tomorrow's not going to be an all-day washout. It's not going to be an all-day storm chance, but I would say we'll actually get some sunny breaks in by midday tomorrow. And that'll provide the fuel for more storms to develop as we get to the afternoon. I really think that focus is going to be for our coastal spots. So coastal areas, you could see round after round of heavy rain, maybe even a strong to severe storm or two. I think this threat is going to be from I-10 points south. I think areas north of the city, to 20-30% chance of a shower or storm. But otherwise, it's a mix of sun and clouds for tomorrow with about a 60% chance, mainly bullseyed from I-10 down towards the coast. Flight delays right now are terrible. We're running 75-minute delays at Hobby, 45-minute delays at Bush. Big storms, again, moving towards Louisiana, 30 minutes for DFW, and across the rest of the area. We've got delays in Vegas, delays in New York as well, up towards the Northeast. Huge delays here, Philly, Newark, JFK, Boston. Everyone check in with really, really rough delays. So kind of a rough evening for everybody if you're traveling today. Let's see what else we got here as we just recap what's going on with the severe potential for this evening. Getting back to radar, we're still watching that strong thunderstorm. It's a severe storm. It's coming into the Columbus area. This is for 1.75 inch diameter hail. That is traveling right along I-10. That's probably the one place you don't want to see large hail, right? Is where a lot of cars are traveling. So that's something we're going to have to keep a close eye on because that's the only severe warning that we have at the moment. Nothing else is warned going north, although we're probably going to have to start keeping an eye on this storm up here. No warnings on that right now, but it's certainly looking strong, especially when you factor in all of that lightning that's starting to burst up there. No rotation on it, though, so there's the good news. It's this storm, though, that we're watching. And notice we've got more development to the south. So, I do think there's a good chance that the city of Houston gets in some pretty nasty weather within the next hour and a half or so, once these storms catch up with us. So again, we time this out. Spring by 6:11, Sugar Land by 6:30, city of Houston, I would say, by 7 p.m. So that means western Harris County, you're probably going to start to see the storms probably around 6:30 to 6:45. So within the next hour, western portions of Harris County, so that includes Katy. That includes Addicts, Hunters Creek Village, Bunker Hill Village. Keep that in mind as we get towards Grand Parkway and the Beltway. So that tornado watch, again, remains in effect for all areas away from the coast, and that's because we do have that cap, that more stable environment for the coastal spots. So here's how the rest of the day shapes out. Again, we're watching that line of storms to the west. Gets to the city of Houston about 7 p.m. once it clears the city of Houston, really starts to fall apart, starts to weaken a lot. We could still see a couple stronger storms kind of riding along this boundary down towards the coast. So we'll need to keep an eye on that. But I think overall our threat starts to diminish, especially in the city, once we get beyond 9, 10 o'clock, and then overnight we catch that break. So that weather impact alert continues through a good part of the evening till about 11 o'clock. Wiley, go ahead. I'm getting an update right now from my producer if anyone's watching us. Okay, that's great news. So an update on that Liberty County storm. No reports of damage, no reports of injuries. That's great news. And that storm continues to move out of here. So that's one storm that had that tornado warning. Hopefully that's the only one that we had this evening. That's out of here. And then as we go through the rest of the evening through 11 p.m., again, rain chances ramp up as we go through the next few hours this evening. So if you thought we're done, if you thought that the storms weren't coming, again, next few hours, things will start to ramp up. We'll do a deeper dive on this. We'll talk about the 7-day forecast. We'll have your Mother's Day forecast. That's coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. 20 minutes from now, we'll have it for you. We hope to see you then.